The quiet new village of Bukit Merah was found during the first Malayan communist insurgency. After declaring emergency in 1947, the British colonizers set up various new villages around the country to prevent the communists from communicating with the villagers, hence cutting off their supply. The emergency period lasts right through to 1960. Bukit Merah is located about 10 kilometers off Menglembu, Ipoh. Behind the story of this quiet village lies a tale of struggle that went on for almost 30 years. In 1979, a Japanese company collaborated with several local entrepreneurs to set up the Asian Rare Earth (ARE) factory plant here. The plant extracts yttrium from monazite. Among the shareholders of ARE included Mitsubishi Chemical Industries Limited, Beh Minerals, Lembaga Urusan dan Tabung Haji, and several Bumiputra businessmen. Mitsubishi Chemical Industries decided to move their rare earth plant to Malaysia after Japanese government suspended its operation. ARE did not reveal to the villagers exactly the kind of factory that they were setting up here. Initially, the villagers welcomed the setting of the new plant as it brought new job opportunities to hundreds of the villagers. The factory employed more than 100 workers to operate the plant throughout 3 shifts to maximize productivity. Hence, the operation hours of the plant were long. Before the construction of the trenches, there was no proper dumping site for the chemical waste produced by the plant. In 1984, huge amount of thorium hydroxide were discovered in the nearby town of Papan. However, village residents were unsure about the source of the hazardous pollutants. After conducting some investigation, local authorities finally discovered that the radioactive waste originated from the ARE plant. This discovery culminated in the beginning of the villagers' fight to ensure that the plant ceased operation. Hugh Yun Tat, a long resident of Bukit New Village, was one of the 8 plaintiffs who sued ARE and sought for compensation for the damages implicated on the natural environment of the village. Hugh was the chairman of the Perak Anti-Radioactive Committee, or so-called PARC. The villagers decided to bring this issue to the Ipoh High Court in the hope of halting ARE from producing, storing and keeping radioactive waste in the vicinity of the village. On 14 October 1985, Justice Anwar Zainal Abidin of the Ipoh High Court granted an injunction to the Bukit Merah residents to stop ARE from producing and storing radioactive waste until adequate safety measures are taken. Disregarding the injunction, the Malaysian Atomic Energy Licensing Board gave ARE green light to resume operations after ARE claimed have spent 2 million ringgit Malaysia in safety upgrading costs. The waste produced by the plant was accused of endangering the health of the villagers. Hugh's home was used as a center to have the radioactive levels of the villagers checked. 60 school children from the village were randomly selected for a blood test to check the lead contained in their blood. The result was then compared to children from other regions in the country. In September 1987, as many as 3,000 villagers marched from Bukit Merah to Ipoh High Court to attend the court hearing. In his battle for justice, Hugh, along with 100 others, was unfortunately reprimanded under the Internal Security Act (ISA) on 27 October 1987. He was held up in the Ipoh Police Headquarters for 78 hours without any charges held against him. After 32 months and 65 days of court hearing, the trial finally came to a close. Justice Peh Siu Chin announced that PARC had won the suit against ARE. However, on 23rd July 1992, ARE filed an appeal to the Supreme Court against the decision of the High Court. The villagers rented as many as 30 buses to travel down to Kuala Lumpur in support of their representatives. To understand the plight of the villagers, we follow the story of Madam Lai Kwan, who was working as a construction worker at the plant in early 1980s.
佢以前佢就冇講係咩廠，就係日本公司嘅，你知冇？呢度起廠。
Although she had only been working at ARE for a few months, the experience left an indelible mark not only on her life but also her family's. Lai Kwan's youngest son, Kok Leong, was born with birth defects and was mentally disabled. After a lifetime of struggle, Kok Leong finally succumbed to the disease at the age of 29 in 2012.
我有去日本啊！我去日本啊，去示威去啊！我膽去啊！我帶住阿國良、阿邱生，同埋一個傑玲醫生，後尾嗰個傑玲醫生係企早開啦，咁樣去即係今晚早開啦。佢話你複印一張俾我又好，你嗰張正嘅俾我又好，你俾一張我。我問佢咩用處啊？佢冇答我咩用處。我講對唔住，我講我冇俾你。
4 years after his death, the thought of how the entire event unfolded still sends her emotion flowing down her cheeks. Her anger towards the government and ARE is still quite evident as she recalls the tragic life of her son. Both Hugh and Lai Kwan were part of the anti-radioactive movement that protested the setting up of the Linus factory in Kuantan by an Australian rare earth mining company. After more than 30 years, the cleaning up process is still ongoing as residues of the chemical waste can be seen nearby. The site of the proposed permanent poison grove have already been relocated 3 times due to protests from residents living in the respective areas. Till this day, the site of the former rare earth processing plant is still in the hands of ARE. The cleaning up process have just been completed and radioactive levels will be monitored for 2 years before the land can be returned to the state government, assuming the radioactive levels are within the permissible standards set by the International Commission on Radiological Protection (ICRP).